White. The anime color. Seriously, think about it. You create lots of tokens and make them stronger with anthem effects, i.e. the power of friendship. You can also make a single creature much stronger with auras and equipment, i.e. the main character, and it has a ton of board wipes, or super moves, if you need to hit the reset button. However, in game canon, white is the color of the many over the individual, despite its love for Voltron decks. It's most commonly associated with law and order, which doesn't mean good. For all of its obsession with the color wheel, Magic the Gathering tends to be a little more grey. In the same way that you need structure to keep everything running smoothly, too much structure leaves you unable to react when something goes wrong. Nowhere is this more accurately reflected than in gameplay, so let's get into it. Let's start with the good news. White is very good at token generation, probably the best at it, regardless of how much green seems to be stealing its homework. Cards like Adeline, Resplendent Cathar will keep your board nice and healthy, while Odric, Lunark Marshal powers up your weaker recruits by sharing keywords. This is the crux of White's main strategy, creating a lot of creatures and making them all stronger. But therein lies the problem, as White also generates its own targets. Obviously, you're going to have priority cards regardless of what color you're playing, but White is truly desperate to keep them around. For instance, let's say you have 5 2/2 knights and something along the lines of Glorious Anthem on the board. Dealing 15 damage instead of 10 is a really big deal, especially if your opponent also has 2/2 blockers. But the moment that anthem gets removed, your knights go from conquering heroes to a coming-of-age drama, if you see what I mean. Structure really is the word for White, not in the sense that you need to follow specific steps to make it work, but rather that everything on your board needs to work in tandem. White isn't exactly starving for versatility, but it can feel a lot more rigid than many other colors. That being said, if things do go to plan, it's tough to stop White. The color is absolutely loaded with banishment and pacifism effects to protect its board, as well as auras and equipment to make its creatures hit harder. But here we see the problems with rigid order surface once more. It's like White is an arrogant general, who's so assured of their victory that they burned all the escape route plans for good luck. It's a win more color, with its only real comeback option being board wipes, the card game equivalent of nuking a battlefield out of panic. Actually, White's had a bit of a resurgence lately. It used to be considered the weakest color, mostly because of its lack of ramp and draw cards, but cards like Archaeomancer's Map and Esper Sentinel really helped it out in that area. Even so, White's comfort zone remains in the mid-game. It doesn't need as many resources to get started and can easily drag games out. The life gain pillow fort strategy can definitely add an hour or two to proceedings, and as anyone who's studied any period of history can tell you, White's no stranger to hate. Will you be having the humility aura of silence platter of general hate, or the ruin a specific person's day combo of the Circle of Protection series? While we're here, we should probably talk about tribes. There are very few truly monocolor tribes. I struggle to remember any non-white griffins, but certain creature types do tend to show up in some colors more than others. Angels are a classic, essentially birds with less personality. These tend to be White's big finisher creatures, huge flying menaces that gain you life, make things indestructible, or just make it easier to get more angels. Another big one is humans, which tend to take the form of soldiers, knights, and general fighting people. They either use combat-oriented abilities like First Strike and Vigilance, or feed into token generation. Gosh, humans really are the ants of fantasy, aren't they? There are plenty of other tribes, like Griffins or Pegasi, or is that Pegasuses? They tend to enjoy enchantments more than anything, as well as gaining new life, and altogether now, generating tokens. At the end of the day, White can be a little basic, and that's not always a bad thing. Sure, it's only really got combat and life gain as win cons, but that means it's a lot more focused than other colors. Blue. But is it the best color? Well, unfortunately, the best card ever, Mere Battlesphere, is colorless and can fit into any deck. Still, if you enjoy the idea of having an unstoppable army, or giving your creatures swords and enchantments like you're playing an RPG, or winning a war of attrition, then White might be the color for you. If not, stay tuned. We're doing blue next, and maybe that'll be the one. Ta-ta. Thank you so much for watching this video, and a very Thank you so much for watching this video, and a very special thank you to our $5 a month patrons, Dorian and Liam Anderson. If you want to have your name read out at the end of these videos, feel free to contribute. Our Patreon is linked in the description and on our channel. None of the art in this video belongs to us, and I've provided links in the description to the places where I got like the pictures of the cards and stuff for the thumbnail. Big thank you to basiclands.com, I think it's called, and Scryfall and Gatherer and things like that. And thank you for watching and sharing and liking and subscribing and all those wonderful things. Feel free to continue to do that. It really helps out the channel. We've almost hit 2,000, I say, not having checked our subscriber count recently. But that would be cool if we got there, so feel free. And if you want to talk to us specifically to complain about these videos or ask when the next one is or whatever, join the Discord. That's where we're most active. That's where I interact with the community the most, and where Amelia also interacts with the community the most. So yeah, that's the place to be. The next one, I don't know when it's going to come out yet. I'm still working on it. But hopefully soon. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a nice day.